Balaji's bet that Bitcoin will reach $1 million looks more and more grim as we pass over a month. Where do you at home think Bitcoin will be in 2 months? This is Around the Blockchain. Hey guys, this is going to be the most exciting 30, 40 minutes of entertainment you'll ever have in the rest of your life. It's so exciting. I don't even have time to get into a whole rhyming thing of intros, so we're just going to get right into it. On the top left, we have Kelly Kellam from BitLab Academy. You have something special in that beaker for us, Kelly?
Just cooking up the charts, looking at the on-chain data, and as Jamie Foxx would say, I'm ready to go.
All right, throw some chili peppers in it, just like Jesse. All right, also on today, we have Joe Parys. We're rocking the Heisenberg. Joe, how are you doing today?
Living the dream, DZ. You know, the sun is shining here in Puerto Rico. It's hot. It's humid. Things are heating up in crypto. I'm loving it. So,
all right. Well, we both have the Heisenberg. Have you ever thought going just full stash only?
I don't think so. No, I still have a little bit of hair up here, by the way, just a little bit. What? So
I'm doing the same thing as you today. All right, solidarity here. Why? Because also we have the fourth guest, so you'll see imminently. But today we have Crypto Blood coming up in his favorite color, Crypto Blood.
Hey,
does it feel back to be? Is it good to be back in red?
Corner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad, man. We're gonna dance.
All right. Hey, there's no sea walking here though. And to round it up, to round out the Chrome Domes with the round top, it is Crypto Factor MC Paul D. How goes it? Are you freshly shaved today?
No, but I'm always shaved. So
all right. Should I switch to Nair Crypto Factor?
Kevin O'Leary look.
Hey, but I think we know a little bit more than Kevin O'Leary and the outspoken owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban. All right, well, let's get right into it with Balaji's Bitcoin bet. Let me share his tweet that he just put out. We're a little over a month into the bet where he said Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million within 90 days. Here he's responding, a lot of people coming after him. I just burned $1 million to tell you that they are printing billions. This is a little over a month where Bitcoin would hit 1 million. Kelly, a lot of people thought that was going to be a little bit ridiculous, but the reason he was saying it was hyperinflation. These are his stats. I want to throw these at you. He said, Bitcoin for a fiat crisis, we have a 10% chance that it happens in months. That's why he did the bet. 70% chance that it happens within the next few years. 19% in decades. 1% we make it more than a century. He's at a 70% chance that we're going to have a fiat crisis within years here, under a decade. What do you think of those odds? Does 70% seem a little bit high? Does that seem a little bit scary? Is that in line what you're guessing?
Well, I mean, first off, thank you for having me back. You do such a great job here, DZ. And I think I don't want to fully dive into this paradigm or this narrative that what he said was specifically only for promo and basically garnering attention. I think it does do a good job of looking at the issues that are happening with not only monetary policy, but the U.S. dollar reserve potentially, starting to starting to move out of favor. And that, we've shot ourselves in the foot continually since 1971, going off the gold standard. And then now, sanctioning, whether or not you agree with what Russia's doing or not, us sanctioning them, let everybody basically gave them a forewarning of, is this really a currency that we want somebody else to control? So 70%, I don't know what the answer to that is, but I will say, looking at, just a brief on-chain data metric here, this is from the Rational Root, his new platform, Bitcoin strategy platform, where you can see if we went directly up from here, we'd be heavily overvalued at 90,000, not even at 100,000. We could see each time we've gotten to this band, this was complete rejection. So the $1 million, I do think is a bit of a fluff, but it does bring eyes to the right topic, to an important topic at hand. I think it's going to take 15 years or minimum or more for us to really see a true flight out of the US dollar in I don't want to say a meaningful way, but a drastically impactful way.
All right, just real quick, what are you guessing? Let me share this tweet one time. This is another tweet. He said, when will this kick off? Months, years, decades, centuries. He puts the highest likelihood at years. Do you think we can make it? Is it going to be under 10 years or above 10 years? Where are you coming in at?
Well, I think Both. I think it started to kick off already. I think that this is the first domino with the cascading bank failures. Now, while we have an alternative that is a meaningful alternative with growing adoption, we had over 13 million new addresses last month alone in Bitcoin. Now, it's not all going to be 13 million people. There's, we could divide that down. I would assume it's probably around 4 to 6 million people, just dividing down the addresses. But the true deterioration of the U.S. dollar as a world reserve currency, and this flight that he's talking about in capital, I think is going to take years, but I think it's already started.
All right. I tend to agree. All right. Well, I need some blood-alytics when I'm talking about these price targets. Crypto blood. Hopefully you can help me out with some blood-alytics. Not, whether or not I have adrenochrome in this cocktail, but, I just mean good old-fashioned TA crypto blood. Let's not talk about whether or not Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million in 2 months. I want to talk to you a little bit more realistic price target, and that is $40,000. Is it possible we can hit 40K in 2 months? And what are the odds you put that? I mean, are we close to 50-50, or is it maybe looking like a moonshot?
I say very low odds. DZ, thank you for having me on. I say low odds, man. I don't think we're heading that high just quite yet. I would put it probably about 10% odds that we hit 40% or $40,000 Bitcoin in 2 months. I think what he did there was just again a marketing ploy for uh, owning Bitcoin. It brought a lot of attention to it. But at the end of the day, it was just that. It was just a gimmick, one of those Justin Sun moves to garner a lot of attention. And I don't think it really has much legs at all. Right when he said it, I said, not happening. Not happening. 3 months out. The day one he said, I said, not
I
happening.
remember. Yeah, you're on here.
So
Well, what do you think, whenever it happens? I don't think 2 months either, but whenever it happens, Blood, what do you think is going to be the likely catalyst? Is it going to be war, bank failures, global de-dollarization, or bad water in Michigan?
bad water in Michigan without a shadow of a doubt, baby.
All right.
No, I think a $1 million Bitcoin is not good. The environment doesn't look well here in the United States if we have $1 million Bitcoin. It would be a hyperinflation situation if we were at $1 million. So it's not like $1 million Bitcoin, it costs you like $40,000 to buy a gallon of milk at that point.
Yeah.
So it's not like $1 million Bitcoin is like, oh, we're all rich and it's all over. No, it's not that at all. Hyperinflation, in my opinion, is not actually going to happen in the United States anytime soon because we are the reserve currency. We have not seen a hyperinflation type of environment from a country that had world reserve currency status. So let's keep that in mind as well. So as long as we have that, I don't see it happening, man.
All right. Well, we have someone who, I don't know whether or not this is true, but Joe, perhaps you're voting with your feet. You are actually not in the U.S. I mean, kind of are, kind of not. You're not in the good old 50 continental states here. What are your thoughts of global de-dollarization? And do you have any moon math targets for Bitcoin this year? I mean, is it possible? I'll repeat the same question. Can we hit 40 or 50? And, when do you think we'll hit $1 million Bitcoin?
Well, thanks, DZ, for having me back on the show. Smash up the like button, everyone. Really do appreciate it. We wear the green. We got the Just Hodl It hoodie here because I'm I wouldn't say I'm a perma bull, but I think that Crypto Blood might be a little bit wrong on this one because I'm in the camp that, yeah, we're definitely going to go to 40 or 50,000. And then from there, we may see a retrace. Now, here's why I believe Bitcoin will do that. And actually, why I think that there's even more opportunity in altcoins, especially if Bitcoin hits $1 million. Can you imagine where some of these altcoins are going to be? We've seen millionaires made with Pepe token from $27, $200. I mean, it could just be crazy opportunity there. So I'm a big fan of crypto. I love Bitcoin, but I don't own any of it, truthfully. And I'm much heavier into altcoins, Ethereum, and a bunch of other ones. And here's what I think, though, will happen. And here's my prediction. Again, just a prediction. We have seen that there's a lot of indicators still where people are lagging behind that we've actually started the bull market. A lot of people think that like, oh no, it's going to go back down. We could actually reach lower lows. I still feel that sentiment. And what's going to happen, I believe, is that we're going to blast through 30,000 here. It might take a month or two. We might have a red month here in May. You may have that. But I think that by July, August, sometime around there, we could start to see higher prices, and then the FOMO is really going to kick in. I think with Pepe token, we're starting to see risk on again. We're starting to see it slowly but surely, and it's exciting. And I think that's going to filter into potentially, whatever happens with the rate hiking. If we get to 25 basis points and they start like tapering that off, and more risk on comes on, that means higher prices for me. So from there, though, I get a little cautious, right? Because right now the fear and greed index is sitting at like 63, 64. So typically it's, remember, greed and fear. Buy the red, sell the green. So if we're in the green, and things are getting a little, euphoric there, not financial advice, but that's kind of my gut intuition, DZ. And, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to lose counter trading market sentiment. Blood, go ahead. I guess you have a rebuttal about 40, 50K Bitcoin.
Joe, if so you're saying in 2 months we're seeing $40,000 Bitcoin. You're going to go against Crypto Dominance and say we're going to see $40,000 Bitcoin in 2 months. I want to hear you on record right now.
No, I mean, I don't know about 2 months.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I said August.
Come on now.
So,
okay.
I mean, look.
Within 100 days, though?
I think it's possible. I mean, Golden Pocket's all the way up at $50,000. I don't necessarily think we're going to reach that, but once we break the local high that we have just before us, and we get above 31.5, and we get in that 32 region, I think it's be a quick flight up to 36. And at that point, the question is going to be if there's any sort of positive sentiment in the general markets as well as what's going on with the price of Bitcoin at that level when we get to 36. I don't think it's far off for sentiment and momentum to carry us a little bit higher. I would target probably in the 38 to 42 range if we did get up there. But we're kind of in uncharted territories right now because of this lingering impact from the global economic shutdown that's still throwing the markets in a tizzy.
One of the worst economic. In fact, I'm going to go to you 1 second. Blood, I want to ask you, what's the reverse number? How low can we go in the next 100 days?
12,600. That's where
Elmo you're saying a new low. You're saying we could hit a new low.
Yeah.
Okay, if we do, this will play out very well for you.
I'm using. Didn't I call the top on around the blockchain very confidently with no one else? Everyone else saying $100,000 Bitcoin. All right. I called $20,000 Bitcoin. It went to 20,000.
Right.
It went below.
Crypto Domus has spoken.
I was overright.
You overstood.
Some of us called 15.6, bro.
I use traditional markets as a barometer. And if you think Bitcoin is going to be at 40,000 in a year, in 2 months, then that means the equity markets are going to be up as well. But how can the equity markets be up when we're going into a recession or already in a recession? We got a banking crisis. There's so many layers to this where I just can't see a risk on asset like Bitcoin going to 40,000, $1 million anytime soon.
All right. Well, Factor, I want to ask you, where are you kind of landing in this little spectrum? Do you think we could hit 40 in the next 100 days, or are you looking more likely 20 or even below? And then a quick follow-up. What is Balaji's motive behind this bet?
40 to 50K after September or around September. That's my call for today when it comes to Bitcoin. As for it, when to get to $1 million, which was asked before, not in this bull run, but if we assume we're going to get to 100 to 140K by the end of this bull run, 5 to 10x in the next bull run, that is very possible, although it should slow down. So not in the next bull run, the bull run after that could easily get into a $1 million territory if it ever does do that, which means pretty much 6 to 10 years, 11 years, something like that. I can't do the math right now. As for Balaji, I think it was a good bet to get attention on him. He got a lot of press. I mean, $2 million for that kind of press, I don't think it's that much. Plus, he got onto the map, at least in this regard. Plus, yeah, I mean, maybe he actually believed it. Maybe he FOMO'd. Maybe he was over FOMOing on it. But regardless, he's not losing. He's not losing. Whether he pays the bet or not, he's in the win. He's got eyeballs on him. And I think it was a good move, and I think he had his reasons.
All right. And usually I try to stick away from mind reading, but I'm sure there had to be some underlying motive. I don't think he thought $1 million. I don't think anyone here thought he thought it was going to hit $1 million. It's more drawing attention to the space. And
it reminds me a lot of John McAfee, the late John McAfee, when he said he's going to eat his penis on national television.
I didn't know if you would say it. He said it. Yeah. Fun fact, and you should also research John McAfee and hammocks. Look up what he liked to do with hammocks, folks. All
Get
right,
some
let's
Rocky Mountain oysters.
move on to coin. Please don't look that up. Let's move on to Coinbase drama. We have our bald brother. Yes, and we have someone in the chat with some of the longest hair in the game. I'm talking about Crypto Face. Had a lot of bald brothers on the show today. So, hey, if we had the long locks like you, maybe we'd rock that as well. All right, Coinbase, though, a little bit of drama. They're embroiled in 2 lawsuits currently. This is all just within the last week. One, it's from a Coinbase investor suing on behalf of Coinbase, suing the executive team for selling billions of dollars worth of stock just in the first few days of the IPO. They collectively sold $2.9 billion, and then the market cap fell $37 billion just within 5 weeks. The second lawsuit is out of California, saying they violated Biometric Privacy Act, and they were using fingerprints, facial images, and they were storing this and not disclosing it and using it for unlawful collecting information. Now, speaking of Crypto Face, all right, we have people out here stealing our facial data. They're stealing our fingerprints. I say stealing it, but really they're collecting it. They're not supposed to be collecting it. Crypto Blood, what does that make you think of? Does that change your opinion of Coinbase, knowing that they're storing your face, knowing that they're storing your fingerprints for easy access to your account? I mean, does that surprise you? Do you think everyone does this, or should we be judging Coinbase a little harshly here?
No, no, everyone should be familiar with what's going on with this country and world. They already have all our information. I mean, you have to do KYC and do the 3D scanning to even set up an account was of the last few years with Coinbase. So no, you should not be surprised at all with this. I don't know why this is even a topic.
Were you surprised that, well, do you think that they'll stop collecting this data? Or, I mean, is this just going to disappear and we'll never hear anything about this moving forward?
I think it'll just disappear, DZ. We'll never hear about it again. I mean, everyone has our information already. So what can we do at this point? I don't think anything. They already know your blood type, your social security number, your baby's mama's mama. They know everything.
I always say if you have an Apple or a Android phone, you probably shouldn't care about privacy. That's kind of my 2 cents. Joe, Parys, I want to ask you about them selling the stock, though. Do you think that they got too light a slap of the wrist here? They sold $2.9 billion worth. When a founder dumps their token, it's a Zach XBT thread. Should we have cared more that they're dumping billions of dollars worth of stock?
I mean, it does certainly say something about, what they really think about their own company, right? And like, let's be honest, if or they're just greedy, right? One way or another. But yeah, I mean, look, typically that's not the case when you own a large sum of your own company that you've worked so hard for, and now you're just gonna sell out like that, right? And typically, it's like, how much money do you really need at some point, right? But look, truthfully, I don't know the rules and regulations. If they didn't do anything illegal, then I think it's fair game, right? Like, if there's a set of rules, and as soon as the stock is live for anyone to start trading, and that they have a huge amount of shares, you can't control what other people do, right? This is where you have to be able to weigh risk versus reward. And people who are just like, oh well, they sold on us and they dumped their own price, and I ended up losing a bunch of money. It's like, well, that can happen anytime. And welcome to crypto, right? Like, yeah, welcome to what we deal with every single day here. So I don't know the details of that, DZ, but if there was not an issue and they didn't do anything illegally, look, it doesn't like shine bright for Coinbase. Like, oh my gosh, like, good job, Brian Armstrong, for dumping $300 million and like basically killing the stock price of your own company. I don't think that personally shines well. But if they didn't do anything illegal, then yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So you got to take your L and move on.
All right. Well, it doesn't shine bright like a diamond, but there is a bright spot here, and that is Cathie Woods. Cathie Woods, she just bought more Coinbase shares. Just recently bought yesterday, actually, 168,000 shares at the current prices, over $8.5 million, adding to her total of, which is already over $130 million here. Now, Cathie Woods is bullish on coin. Are you? And why?
Yeah, I think so, because even kind of diving back into what Joe was talking about there, I think the question is, what's the legality of what Coinbase did? And at the end of the day, CryptoFace says this a lot on his streams, and anybody that I know that's worth their salt in trading in markets in any capacity that's been profitable in the green over time will tell you that these markets they're not compassionate markets. Markets, you have predator and you have prey. Now, you can be a prey that learns how to swim with a shark and be protected, sure, but Brian Armstrong was building Coinbase from day one, and once it got to IPO, I know when I'm looking at a new asset that I want to buy, and I've done this in the past. This is how I learned. I lost money. I bought something on day one because I wanted to be in early, only to see on the release whether it be a stock initial public offer, whatever IPO or the public distribution. When that goes, there's a high frequency of those things dropping initially, only to then find their legs later. In addition to that, think about where we were in the market, in the Bitcoin market at the time. And I'm sure that Brian Armstrong has a pretty deep and detailed analysis of what's going on within the market beyond what a typical analyst does, because they can see buying volume and they can see this stuff real time of, and they have all the data behind it. So they can see shifts and trends before they come, in addition to knowing that we're on a 4-year-ish cycle. So if he knows that his company is essentially Bitcoin adjacent, it's sharing that sort of narrative, and he could sort of foretell or foresee that there was going to be a likely drop in Bitcoin coming up, especially if you heard any chirps about what was going on with the Bitcoin, the mining ban in China, which was around shortly after the coin release. Well, then I would sell some stock too. It doesn't mean you don't believe in your company. I don't think of it that way. I think, hey, I'm going to take advantage of also being a predator in this space, and I'm going to buy and lower or reallocate this to building out the brand that I have. So Cathie Wood buying or selling doesn't impact me. Am I bullish on coin? I do think that Coinbase is going to actually resolve some of the issues that they've had with the SEC. I think there was a little bit of poking the bear with that video they put out, but they raised a lot of good points. And I think that once that resolves, I think the coin stock as well as Bitcoin is going to have incredible sort of upside going into a little bit of a pullback, upside going into the halving, and then I think the next bullish parabola is actually going to shock people, because I think we're going to have the largest adoption. We're going to break that diminishing returns this cycle, and then maybe next it's going to be far lower than that.
All right, parabola. What am I watching? An Ivan on Tech video? It was a blast from 2020 right there. All right, Crypto Factor. Final question on this. We have smash the like as the pumpamentals. You must respect the pumpamentals better than fundamentals. Crypto Factor. I want to talk about the fundamentals of Coinbase. Coinbase is 11 years old this month. What is the Coinbase going to look like 11 years from now? They want to be the crypto super app. Can they succeed? Will they still have Jason Bourne promoting it? Or, a Jason Bourne, a Tom Brady? Will they, have the FTX push there?
Look, Coinbase is the most trusted cryptocurrency exchange in America. And while there's a lot of battles, a lot of wars against Coinbase from the SEC and so on, it still is the most trusted crypto exchange, right? And it has that go-to sort of syndrome. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly here, but essentially Coinbase is what it is, and I think it's going to go up. I do believe Coinbase is going to do big things as long as they don't crap all over their bed, but I think they're going to do very well. Where are they going to be 11 years from now? It's hard to know, right? But as long as crypto is doing well, as long as crypto is going up, and as long as the regulations and the SEC doesn't go too crazy with them, they should be doing well as long as crypto goes well. And they even should be doing okay in bear markets because they still make those fees. And I do think they're going to find new things. There's going to be new things to trade. There's going to be new systems. There's always new things coming out. And I think they're going to do very, very well.
All right. And we'll be keeping an eye out on, as they evolve and as they grow. Can they be the quote unquote Amazon of crypto? Go ahead.
I don't understand where the revenue stream comes from going forward with Coinbase.
It's real easy. You see Bitcoin at 27,000 and you hit buy and you bought your Bitcoin at 27,100. It's amazing how that always works.
I know
Coinbase
they do have super wide spreads, but the commission is really where the revenue is. And if it's a race to the bottom, as we saw in the equities markets, zero commission is where it's going. I just don't see long term how.
Yeah, if I had to guess, just to play devil's advocate, I would say it's their subscription-based service is a 20 or 30 bucks a month where you get someone actually answers the phone, and we have people in the
Hey,
yeah, I could
office
see that.
subscribing.
that
So
You
you
that
get a
also
million
that
make
people
money.
paying 30 bucks a month. Go
wait,
ahead,
wait,
Kelly.
wait.
You also
That
make
30 that $30 a month, I will say on their
I'd
behalf.
rather spend on
Uh,
BitLab Academy.
well, no, you
There you
spend
you
it
go.
on.
also get paid.
No, wait. I spent that $30 because Taco told me about it, and I forgot I had it. And then when I had an unlawful sort of a hack of my account, and somebody took $30,000 out of my Coinbase account, and because I had that $30 premium whatever it's Coinbase One, they covered it. That not even in USDT or US dollar. They covered it in
And
actual
Pepe.
in Bitcoin at the
And-
price
Oh.
at
Okay.
yeah, all Pepe baby.
I thought it was
Pepe to the day I
for a
die.
second. All right,
That's
all right. And
interesting.
I got
everyone in the
another
chat wants to
question
know
here.
what's the next Pepe. They're tagging you guys. Is there a next Pepe? Let's go around the blockchain real quick. Kelly, is there a next Pepe? What is it?
I don't think we're going to know what it is. That's the thing. You got to jump on the train. You have to be fundamental analysis is too far overlooked. We need to look at things,
Mhm.
and you're not going to do a lot of fundamental analysis on a meme coin, but being aware of new stuff. I know, is it even Ivan on Tech has a Morales.io or whatever that he does, where you can actually search for new coins, new listings, and actually filter it by speed of adoption and volume traded and stuff. So for new coins you've never heard of, if you're trying to identify things like that, it sometimes comes down to just digging in the dirt and spreading $100 or $1,000 across multiple coins, and most of them are going to fail, and you have to know that.
And Dex Tools has some of those features. Joe Parys, people are tagging you specifically. What is the next Pepe?
Well, I got a video tonight, DZ, that gives away 10 meme
All right,
coins. But
link in the description.
yeah.
Wait, are we
so you
going to
have
get
watch.
alpha here?
There is. I will give a little alpha here. There's one that's a little interesting to me. It's called Zen Doge, and it hasn't even launched yet. So this is like a huge alpha, just for ATB here. So
What are we
it's
doing
interesting
here?
because you basically burn Zen, and you get this Zen Doge token. And the earlier that you get into it, the more of a bonus you get. So it's interesting game theory, and Zen is like pumping like crazy right now. So
All right. Well,
not
when I
financial advice,
burn,
but
I feel zen as well. Crypto Blood, what is the next Pepe?
I'm with Kelly, man. You just don't know. You can't do fundamentals on meme coins. It's just random, and that's the excitement of it all.
All right, Crypto Factor, do you have some on your radar?
Yeah. Just like the next Solana was Solana, the next Pepe will be Pepe. Let me explain why I'm saying this. I know it sounds funny. The next Pepe will be Pepe simply because Pepe has the biggest chance to actually reach higher market caps and go close to Shiba Inu, go close to Doge. It has the okay, fundamentals is not the right word here, but it has the familiarity, if you will, or it's just simply taking off. And I think that Pepe, if you look at the how many members it has in the community in such a short time, it's hard to beat. And while people are looking for the next Pepe, they're going to miss Pepe, right?
Yeah.
Now, someone in the chat just mentioned something really smart. I don't know if they have this or not. It's called Mrs. Pepe. I think that's a great name, and I could make some quick money. So
I invented a coin today. It was called AI Pepe, and you say AI PP. Probably someone's probably going to make it right now.
No,
I
but
actually
Mrs.
do have
Pepe
some
is
real
good, though. You
information
can
for
make
people.
stories with them. You can.
I have a real alpha tip here for people. If you go to YouTube and you want to find how do I get the next thing, go to YouTube, type in how do I buy Pepe, look for the channel that told you to buy it the longest time ago, and then check out those channels and see if there's a good track record. You know, if they're making 10 videos a day and they're just throwing everything against the wall, maybe not a good chance. But they're talking about Pepe 15 days ago, and you know that might be opportunity. I just discovered that today. I'm gonna share that with you folks there. But let's move on. I don't know if it's gonna work. Don't yellow into something off that stupid advice. All right, let's talk about the AI Godfather. I have a picture of this guy just in case you're wondering what does the AI Godfather look like? Yeah, this guy right here. He's been in the space for a while. He wants computers to think more like brains. He sold his company to Google. Let me try to DNN Research. He sold to Google in 2013. He's been in this space for a long time, highly respected here. And he just had an interview with the New York Times where he says, it is hard to see how you can prevent the bad actors from using AI for bad things. I console myself with the normal excuse. If I hadn't have invented it, somebody else would have. Currently, his number one concern is fake media, deep fakes proliferating. Crypto Blood, how concerned are you about deep fakes in the coming election we have in the next year and a half?
Yeah, that may be a concern for sure. No one's going to deep fake Sleepy Joe though, because he's already a deep fake, so it's no need to
Are you
reinvent
talking
the
about the
wheel again.
CIA masks, right? That's what you're talking
Yeah,
about? Where they
yeah,
don't need
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
use
yeah,
AI.
exactly.
Okay, okay.
Exactly, exactly. No, but all jokes aside, man, this AI thing is something serious. I've been covering it on my channel for 3 years now. I covered Chat GPT 2 3 years ago and warned people, look out for this. This is game changing. And now we're here. And you've got all these tech luminaires from around the country signing this petition to stop it or slow it down. I think they should, but unfortunately they can't. The cat is out the bag. It's over. I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here, but it's definitely a game changer. It's definitely a game changer.
Well, Factor, he kind of said it, the genie's already out of the bottle. The monkey's already out of the
Mhm.
cage. Can we regulate it at this point, or is it too late?
The irony, I don't know if you can regulate it or not. Probably you could probably try, but the irony is the only way you can actually verify it's you and actually get away from this is by using an NFT. And I do think that the next use case of NFTs at some point will be to verify that it's actually you or verify it's actually someone talking and it not being AI or not being a deep fake. I think it's an amazing use case for NFTs. And if you remember when Antonopoulos was talking about it, when they were called deeds back in the day, this was one of the things. Basically, your car keys could be a deed or an NFT, so you can use that. You can just sell your car keys with the car, and guess what? That transfers, but also your ID. So basically, that's where I see this going. I do think, and I know this is
But
not
how
exactly
does a
part of the
deep fake
question.
on video? How does an NFT stop a deep fake on video? I don't
Well, you don't
understand.
stop it, but you can verify it, right? And there could be platforms being made. I mean, okay, it's hard to actually guess how it's going to be used at this point, but I'm just saying the tech is there, and that's one way, or it's kind of like a verification, kind of like a tick on Twitter, but it's actually more real. You can actually hold this NFT, and it can be used anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if your ID becomes an NFT at some point, the way things are going, because it's the only way to verify and be safe.
Well, blockchain is being used in California DMV, so we might not be that
Yeah,
far from that.
true.
All right, Kelly, I'm looking here. There's a lot of industries are going to be impacted by AI. I actually dropped out of accounting because of I heard AI. This was years and years ago. I thought, I was going to be replaced in 10 years. Literally dropped out, became a Twitch streamer, played Magic the Gathering in a green morph
Go
suit.
watch the interview that we
We
did about
yeah,
that.
yeah. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's a really, really good interview with
yeah.
Crypto Blood. I talk about my origin story there. It's not too dissimilar from Batman. But yeah, customer service is going to be a huge one. Writing is going to be a huge one. Video content is going to be a huge one. A lot of this is what you're doing with BitLab Academy. I mean, what are your thoughts about AI? Are you going to be replaced, or are you going to be a conductor? How are you navigating this?
I think everybody has their own ability to shape their destiny with other impacts in the world, and whether you believe in God or not, and how you treat people. And there's so many different factors that go in this. And I think that in reality, things change in perpetuity. The only thing that stays the same is that things change. And if you're
Yeah.
not able to adapt, you die. Same thing if you're trading the market. If you have a bias and you're not able to adapt, then your profits die. And so with BitLab Academy, by the way, we are launching the new BitLab Academy this week. I'm so excited about it all. But I think we are going to have to, I think it puts a larger impact on, and it really exemplifies, and this ties into the I forget the guy's name, the godfather of AI. He's worried about the harm that it could be caused when it gets in the wrong hands. However, I think that with that, I think there's with light there's darkness, right? With good there's bad, and I think the likelihood with AI, it's an absolute accelerator and expander of anything that people apply to it, right? So I think we're going to get a lot of exponential good from it. But I think with that, we will have to deal with exponential bad, the balance that's there within, right? So I think with anybody, any field out there that is going to be impacted by AI, aka every field that's in existence, except if you are an exotic dancer with interesting feet. Maybe that's unique. But I think it puts pressure on any business owner or any content creator or anybody that's producing something to figure out how they can utilize the new tools. For instance, you look back in the day when you had the 85% or more of the nation here in the US was farmers, right? And then as technology grew, then certain people adapted and started getting mechanical tractors, and they were able to plow the field in a different way, and they had lower margins because they didn't have to have as many staff and deal with as much of the livestock. And then what happened was, some people said, I'm not going to do that. It's all about the horses, right? It's got to have your fingers in the dirt. But why is there only about, it's like 3% of the population now or something is farmers? Not only because cities are better than farms. It has nothing to do with that. It's because the margins are different because certain people use tools and other people didn't. So I think it's a driving impact for each one of us. Blood, Joe Parys, us around the blockchain, BitLab Academy, BitBoy Crypto, CryptoFace, anybody out there that's building something. If we're not using the tools to stay with the accelerated pace of any economy that we're in, then I don't want to say that business model should die, but it's definitely going to be eaten alive if we don't adjust.
Yeah, we always think of the old examples of the horse and buggy, and we switched to the car. There was all these jobs that were lost, but new ones were created. And they always say, the Luddites, they were fighting. I always think, who was that guy in Manhattan that shoveled crap for a living who said, I really want to keep doing this for decades? I don't know if it's that black and white. Always kind of scoffed at that idea.
But all those other transitions, they never led to a singularity event.
Yep.
And that's where my concern is with AI.
Yes, we had a chat said, we'll go from conductors and then we will be replaced. We did have a super chat from Player 500. Communities who reject AI will be the new Amish. Well, I know Weird Al taught me, much about the Amish. They don't seem that bad. All right, Joe Parys, final question here. I brought this up earlier. Hinman, the godfather of AI. He has sold his company to Google. 2013, Meta, they quietly acquired some AI companies. OpenAI, originally a $1 billion investment. Then, rumors is another $10 billion investment by Microsoft. How do you feel about AI moving from these small startups into the tech giants? Should we be worried about that?
It's a really interesting question. Honestly, we can only hope that they make the best decisions, but I truthfully don't trust anyone, really, especially the big tech giants. Like, I look at Facebook, I look at what they've done, and I look at, I think Elon has the best intentions with Twitter. I think he genuinely is trying, but at the end of the day, too much power in the hands of anyone is going to be an issue, and I just don't trust the bigger players because they're motivated by different things, right? I won't go into the details of what they're really motivated by, but money is probably one of them, right? So, they're going to do everything that they can to use this AI to probably make the most profits, right? And that might not be the best thing for everybody in the long run, right? So, look, it's going to be really interesting to see this develop, but I agree with the rest of the panel. Like, you need to be adaptive and you need to continue to keep learning and studying and keep coming back to the channel and keep evolving, because if you don't, you will get left behind. And I think that we're, in crypto and with AI, combining here, it's a really interesting, narrative to see how fast this industry is developing. There's a project that I was looking at and studying. You can basically create your own crypto with AI now. It's like, it's got the whole smart contract for you. It's just amazing to see what can happen next. So, keep coming back, keep learning, keep studying. And, we can only hope for the best and only control what we can control, right? So I'm not going to focus on, what these big tech companies are going to do, but that's kind of my attitude towards it. And, hopefully it all works itself out.
Yeah, hopefully these people that I'm about to picture right here, hopefully they're good stewards of the AI economy and they don't, lead us down a dark and dangerous path there. All right, well, that is all we have time for. It looks like Kelly ended up taking it home. I think I gave you some extra points here. Something happened. There was a fluke. Kelly, you won. Maybe there's an asterisk. I don't know. I'm hearing whispers of Barry Bonds. But feel free. Take it away. These are 20, 30 seconds parting thoughts.
Kelly. Well, I appreciate being here and all the panelists. I think honestly, everybody that's even watching this channel is winning, especially so early that we are in this crypto and digital ecosystem. I think Crypto Factor hit the nail on the head in regards to the NFTs. And we need to realize if we're not fully aware of it yet, the NFTs aren't just about images. It's an incredible way that we can verify a lot of stuff. So definitely look at more into that if you're not yet. But I hope everybody follow the Around the Blockchain channel. Go follow them on Twitter as well, and follow all the panelists. And remember, you don't have to be a predator, but you at least have to learn to swim with them if you don't want to be eaten like prey. That's all I got to say. Stay unemotional, get in the charts, and yeah, have a good day.
All right, let me share from Nick Demondi. Loves this incognito privacy broker. Apparently, we got a link. He loves it. I'm going to check it out. I don't know anything about it. I'll look into it. But that's all we got. Until next time, DZ out.